Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, May 19th, 2020. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Over the years, I've had a bunch of people tell me that Chicago in the summertime is one of the coolest cities in America. But now with climate change, the Pro League schedule getting pushed back, well, I'm hoping that the city is equally as awesome in the fall. This week, Tim Gardner announced that the Chicago Pro was being rescheduled for the weekend of October 16th through the 17th, which means some of the IFBB's best will be competing for a last-minute Olympia qualification right there in the heart of the Windy City. The Chicago Pro has been one of the best events on the schedule for a long time now, and the fact that the stakes will be even higher at this show this year should make for a really exciting weekend competition. There's a thing in golf they call the Tiger Slam that almost no one in the history of the sport has done because consistently winning majors at that level is so hard. But if Elisa Pecini comes back to defend her Olympia title in December after winning the Arnold back in March, she's basically done the bikini equivalent of the Tiger Slam. In a roundabout way, having all this extra time off in this calendar year is probably a good thing for Isa, because the consistent grind of competing has a way of wearing down the athlete in some divisions. So if she's at her best, I have a hard time seeing a scenario where she doesn't add another important chapter to her legacy. Sometimes in sports, you hear people describe watching great athletes as poetry in motion. And honestly, it's been said so much that it's almost a cliche at this point. But after seeing the video that Terrance Ruffin put together a few days ago, I'm willing to run the risk of sounding cliche because this dude is poetry in motion. Terrance and his team put together a 45-second video of him doing some sort of choreographed posing routine that reminded me why so many people consider him to be one of the most captivating athletes in the game. He's just on a different level than everyone in bodybuilding, and when you see him doing stuff like this, it highlights how special his talent is. I can't remember who said that work always occupies the amount of space given to it, but I've always liked that quote. So the fact that there were only 7 months separating Shawn Rhoden from his return to the Olympia stage can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how much work he can squeeze into that small window. I've heard Shawn talk a lot about how much he wants to get back on stage to win back his Olympia title. But now that we're staring down the barrel, the time for talking is over. It's time for action. So, if he still has that championship gear he had back in 2018, I think we're in store for one hell of a showdown between him and Brandon Curry. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.